So I spent months binging all of Phineas and Ferb, all the episodes, in preparation for the new revival coming out. Which, since I didn't know the exact date the revival was coming out, I ended up being late to watching the revival. So now you're finally getting this review. I was severely disappointed with this revival. In fact, I think it's actually kind of bad. Somewhat. It's kind of crazy. So, Phineas and Ferb was a great show. It has lots of songs that have remained in my head for almost 20 years now. Phineas and Ferb is almost a 15-year-old show. It has been almost 20 years, and I've known all these songs. All these jokes have stuck in my head. All these episodes have stuck in my head. I've rewatched the movie multiple times. I have the soundtrack to the movie on CD over there somewhere in my background. So I'm very much a huge fan of Phineas and Ferb. But even I knew something was off when we saw Milo Murphy's Law kind of put Dr. Doofenshmirtz in the show, him take over that show. And that show just was not great. I'm planning to do a rewatch now that I've seen all of this, but honestly, I watched so much Phineas and Ferb recently that I just need a break before I do that, and I'm not, so probably next year. And I need to watch Hamster and Gretel as well. But I'm really just not a fan of Candace Against the Universe. I thought that movie was very flawed. When I rewatched that movie, there was a lot more jokes and ideas that I thought worked and were a lot stronger than I remembered them being. And so I do like a lot of that, but I wasn't a big fan of it when I first saw it, but now I'm more okay with it. This new season, though, let's start with the good. I really liked the episode with Stacy. Now that she understands that Perry is a secret agent, and they can play around with that, and they're getting a job at Alco, was actually a cool plot point. And I liked those kind of gags. I thought that was actually a really clever idea. Sorry, my dog is being weird. Anyways, I really enjoyed that episode. I really enjoyed the weird episode about Buford and his Candace suits. Just what the fuck was that? I don't know, but it was a great episode that was very funny. Lots of laughs throughout it. So there's lots of great gags there. I really enjoyed the episodes with those kind of gags and that kind of humor in it. I also just really enjoyed just individual moments in the episodes. Like, there might have been a song I enjoyed. Like, I enjoyed the new song in the first episode, even though I hated the first episode of this revival. Now let's get into the negative. The animation in this season is bad. And there's some people have been debating it, but I'm sorry, it is just bad because it should not be this inconsistent. It is constantly, like, 1 minute it'll be, like, okay, watchable enough. Next minute, it will just look like complete and utter garbage. And it's just like that constantly throughout the season. Switching styles and tones. It is just so all over the place. I couldn't even stand it at certain points. It just kept... It literally made some of the episodes just hard to watch. Because I'm just like, why is the animation quality changing this much? There are a couple points where I'm like, oh, the animation's a little more expressive, but it wasn't enough compared to the moments where it was off model. I hope that gets better in future seasons, but man, it was really bad here. I also really just... There's just so many things wrong with this show coming back. First of all, as much as I said I love Phineas and Ferb, this show ran for 4 seasons and literally ran for almost 200 episodes. It had 2 movies, it took over an entire different show that it had a crossover with. It's got tons of merch. It's got a live stage show. Like, this show has really outlived its legacy. But even I was binging season 4, and I'm just like, these episodes, some of them are really strong, but a lot of them were very meh or mediocre. Well, this season that has been amped up to 11. I can't remember. I was thinking about it. I literally just finished the season today, and I cannot tell you one of Doofenshmirtz schemes off the top of my head in the episode, or one of the kids' inventions other than like a couple that I didn't like from bad episodes of the season, which is crazy. And so it just made me go, what is the point of this show to come back other than money? And it made me really sad because I like watching the creators talk about this show, and it seems like they're still passionate, but I'm not seeing the passion on screen. To me, all of it just feels like a cash grab. They brought back this show. Now, this is only the first 10 episodes. I'm going to watch any more that they put out, just because that's how much I love these characters, that even a show I'm not enjoying that much, I want to see it to the end. But it really is incredibly flawed. And there's so many things, too, as a fan of this show that just feel so, like, frustrating as a fan. Like Candace against the universe ends with Candace realizing the reason she wanted to bust her brothers all the time is because she was jealous of them, and her having to come to a realization that that is something she needs to drop. Well, because the show came back, we're doing it again. She's busting their brothers, which is fine. As, but at least I knew they were going to do that. But I'm like, okay, but are you going to address it in the show? Her character arc? No, they don't really address it or why she went backwards, or like Dr. Doofenshmirtz going good. You know, it just doesn't work out. And so, I don't know, man. It just does not work out. He just goes back to evil. And I just think that if you were going to make these changes, they either should have stayed permanent or you should have had a clever reason to make things go back to the way they were. And I think it would have been great to see Dr. Doofenshmirtz be a good guy making inventions. And now the boys, you can still find reasons for his inventions to blow up or do whatever they need to do and take the boys' inventions away, right? Because Dr. Doofenshmirtz is just a clumsy guy, and that joke could have been, even though the invention blew up in his face, he still did the right thing. Whatever the joke is, could have found another, but it just felt like the writers weren't clever enough to think of these new character dynamics and advance this show if they were going to bring it back. Also, there's just weird things, like they made a new intro for the show, but only halfway. And I say halfway because they changed the lyrics to 104 days of summer vacation to another 104 days. But they only use it in half of the episodes, and they don't reuse the same inventions in the episodes. So there's just so much wrong with this revival. I could literally go on nitpicking and complaining. But this is someone as a fan who just spent 5 seasons watching this show and watched 2 movies and multiple specials to just feel disappointed with all of this. I was just so not happy with this new season. And I don't know if it'll get better, honestly. I hope so. I wonder if it just could be growing pains of not being with it for so long, because I noticed some of the earliest episodes in the season were some of my least favorite, and then the rest of them started getting a little bit better, a little bit stronger, and started introducing new character dynamics that maybe gave it a reason to come back, but I don't think they fully took advantage of all that quite yet. So I'm still hopeful, but I still am very disappointed.